Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Skate 4, which is a game that a lot of people are obviously looking forward to, myself included. I cannot wait for this game to come out. I've been following all the updates on it and everything from the developers. I've been trying to keep up with all of the news for the game, so I know exactly when everything's going to happen. I would probably put Skate 4 on one of my most anticipated games of the next few years list. It's probably not going to come out anytime soon, and we're really going to have this proven pretty much by what we see today in today's video, but I just want to say I'm actually taking a massive risk by showing you guys what I'm going to show you today. I don't really know if this is grounds for my channel to get struck or anything, because obviously this is unauthorized pre-alpha gameplay and everything that we're going to be taking a look at here today, but based on what you just heard, you can probably get the gist of what we're about to see in today's video. So yes, Skate 4's very early version too, not even like the full polished version, but like an early developer copy almost of the pre-alpha for Skate 4 actually ended up leaking online, and you can download it and play it. And this has led to people putting up gameplay on YouTube and Twitter of Skate 4's pre-alpha gameplay, trying out different mechanics and features in the game, doing different tricks on the board. And honestly, I gotta say, this is one of the craziest game leaks I've seen in a while, man. We are talking about a brand new AAA title game's pre-alpha version leaking out onto the internet for people to play, for people to enjoy, and nobody really seems to know how it got out there. So the most apparent answer as of right now as to how this whole thing even happened in the first place is one of the developers or something had a leak, and basically the game files ended up online in like mega files and things like that, and zip files that have been circulating online. You can pretty easily find a download link to the game online. I'm not going to provide one on this video or anything, but it just goes beyond like the normal leaks that we see in the gaming industry. For instance, like what we cover here on the channel oftentimes, like let's take Call of Duty for instance, right? You know, it'll just be some information about the upcoming title or something like that we end up covering. Pretty much never is there really early gameplay or early screenshots or anything like that, let alone a full build of the game leaking out onto the internet. And that's actually created a mild like conspiracy theory that we'll go over a little bit later in this video. But I'm going to show you guys some screenshots of the alpha gameplay and everything in this video so you can take a look and see what's going on and see what you think of the game so far. Obviously, keep in mind this is a very early build of the game. It is nowhere near completion. It's probably like 2 to 3 years out from actually being completely finished and released. This is in no way really representative of the final gameplay or the final game in general, I guess. So just keep that in mind when you're seeing this, because obviously the textures aren't finished or anything like that. But as you can see, here's some screenshots of the early alpha build that has leaked out on the internet. Now, once again, you can go actually online, find a link to this, download it, and play it yourself. Of course, keep in mind that there's like a lot of people that probably could use this situation to try and like spread viruses and stuff, so make sure you're downloading a safe file. Definitely run your antivirus software on it and things like that. You really don't know what these people are putting into files. That's pretty much why I haven't downloaded it as of right now, but other people are loading it up and they're either able to play pretty easily and they're moving around the map, you know, doing tricks and stuff, or riding around on the board. There's also other people who are having issues loading it up and it's actually crashing constantly, which is to be expected with a game that is in like pre-alpha basically. Now, I'm not gonna lie, from what we've seen of the gameplay of everything here, I think it's turning out pretty decent as a game. I mean, I know this looks pretty much nothing like what they've updated us with, none of the like little clips that they put out on social media or anything, but I mean, honestly, I'm still pretty genuinely impressed. It's always kind of cool to see the back end of things and see how all of our favorite video games kind of work in the background, like in the development process and everything. It really puts a brand new perspective on the game for you, and to be honest, this is something that I'll remember. You know, when this game finally comes out and I get to play it and I'm enjoying it and everything, I'm gonna think back on this and be like, man, I remember when that happened. That was pretty cool. It's almost like we get to see the full evolution of this game kind of happen in real time, which is a really interesting concept because obviously we don't get that opportunity with most games. In most video games, they kind of just announce the game when it's ready and they kind of put out like the beta, if anything. They don't really put out like a pre-alpha or anything. So it's definitely pretty cool to kind kind of get this inside exclusive look into the game while it's still in the process of being built. Now, obviously, you know, there's people who've played it and they enjoyed it. They thought it was pretty cool. They are optimistic, no pun intended, about the future of the game. And there's probably some people who've played it that definitely didn't really enjoy what they picked up. Once again, you're in pre-alpha, you know what I mean? You're not playing the final game by any stretch of the imagination. But people are kind of breaking this whole thing apart. They're testing the limits of it to kind of see what you can do, what you can't do inside of this. They're trying to figure out new features. They're trying to figure out new movement mechanics and stuff like that. Obviously, if you've watched any Skate 3 video or montage, people take these games seriously, man. They really try to break them down to the core and figure them out to a point that most people just couldn't imagine figuring them out. But it's pretty cool to see all of this in real time and see what's going on. Now, it's kind of led to a pretty massive conspiracy theory, though, that I've been seeing. Well, I shouldn't say massive. It's probably the biggest conspiracy theory I've seen for Skate 4 so far. But basically, the conspiracy goes that the developers actually intentionally leaked this copy of the pre-alpha. That way they could generate hype and excitement around the game. They could get the gameplay out to people. They could subconsciously trick people into giving their feedback for the game, and also just so they could get their hands on it as well. We've been waiting for Skate 4 for quite some time. Skate 3 came out like, I don't even know how long ago at this point, but Obama might have been president. It might have been earlier than that. George Bush might have still been president. I don't know when Skate 3 released, but man, it's been a minute. You know what I mean? It was really back in the day, so there's been a pretty long wait for Skate 4. The conspiracy is that all the developers, you know, they wanted to help the community out and also get some of that early feedback in as well. And they basically intentionally leaked the file out onto the internet in a playable state so people could play it and just go to social media with it. I mean, on one hand, it really does make sense. I mean, how does an entire pre-alpha file for one of the most hyped up and excitable games in recent memory just leak out onto the internet and then nothing's done about it? Like, the file is just out there circulating to God knows who. No, you don't even know how many people have downloaded this. I mean, at the end of the day, right, like, it's definitely suspicious that something like this could have happened, because usually, like, at these studios and at these developers and stuff, the security is so top-notch. Like, they really take very good care of the projects to the point that you don't have to worry about stuff like this. And that's because they don't want the game to be ruined or spoiled or anything, but obviously Skate 3 is not really a game that can be ruined or spoiled. I mean, just seeing people use the gameplay mechanics and ride around on a skateboard, it's not spoiling any story or ruining any sort of gameplay for anybody, really. So the conspiracy is basically just that the developers did this. And honestly, I don't know if I subscribe to this theory or not. I don't know if I'm fully on board with it, but it definitely makes sense, because I just don't know how something like this could have happened without that being the case. I mean, this is either a case where the developers did leak this and they tried to generate hype and buzz, which, if that was the case, they were quite successful in doing it, or B, there was just one of the worst, like, sort of like data breaches or just security incidents possible, and they lost access to the early file of the game and now it's out there. But I mean, if that were the case, I feel like they would be going really hard to take down the gameplays, to take down anything really containing copyrighted material about this whole thing. They haven't really done that from my knowledge. Like, there's still plenty of videos circulating on YouTube and Twitter. Usually in these kind of instances, they'll go through as quickly as possible and copyright claim the content. But they haven't done that yet, and it's been at least 12 hours or so as of me recording this since I've even known about it, and it was already out before that. So they haven't really done anything to try to address this leak, which kind of adds credibility, I think, to the whole, you know, the devs leaked the game file whole theory. But I don't know, man, it's just crazy that we got a legit copy of Skate 4 this early and that you can play, right? Like, you can literally boot this up on your computer and run it right now. I don't know if you have to have a decent computer to run this, as I haven't downloaded it personally. Also, probably wouldn't matter. I have a 3090, so it's probably going to run regardless. But if you're interested in finding out more, you can easily find out more on social media. You can also find files of the game out there as well. So with that being said, though, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, hyped for Skate 4 to be honest, and signing out.